happening right now. I'm talking about the FDA. If you think they're pissed off because of what we say in this video, they're pissed off because we are up their butts and we are making them do a better job. Here's what I'm talking about. They set out all of these companies, that the giant great race for the vaccine that's going to make somebody $750 billion if they get their way with Bill Gates and everybody in the world is forced to take this vaccine. A company stands to make $750 billion. Well, we had a problem with the way these trials were being done. You just saw one of the problems in that last study. You can't test safety against a vaccine that has no safety protocols itself. That's not a safety trial. A safety trial needs saline placebos. I reported on a letter we wrote to the FDA just a couple of months ago. This is the beginning of that story. This is the petition. Let's roll the tape so people see what this was all about. The FDA has a portal with which, if you make the appropriate petition and put your own self at risk, which is what I'm going to describe too, they have to take this into council and look at their rules and see if they are going to make a difference. And what is the difference we're asking for? Here's what we want from all of the coronavirus vaccine trials. Here we go. All right, to begin with, the action requested, number one, is to hereby request that the commissioner, A, require all phase 2 and 3 trials of vaccines against COVID-19 include a placebo control group. B, the placebo shall be a saline injection without anything added. If the vaccine and saline are visually distinguishable, opaque vials should be used. C, the placebo control group shall be of at least equivalent size to the experimental group. Our petition goes on to read, because there is no licensed COVID-19 vaccine, an active control is not appropriate for trials of new COVID-19 vaccines. Thus, clinical trials of potential COVID-19 vaccines should include a placebo control group. The undersigned, therefore, respectfully urges that the actions requested above be adopted forthwith. And this is the first time I've ever signed this. The way we have to submit this means I am now under risk of perjury. Sincerely yours, Del Bigtree, Informed Consent Action Network. I know a lot of you are probably out there jaded saying, Del, they're never going to listen to you. You're wasting your time. Well, guess what? After you win lawsuits against almost every government health agency, they start to pay a little bit of attention. Let me show you the timeline of how this all went down really quickly. I think we have this to be able to put up. Essentially, March 26th, we see the placebo comparator group, saline placebo. This is how it was supposed to be set up. Then, Oxford announces the vaccine in trials, Friday, 27th of March. What are they using? Placebo. Then on April 2nd, they change it, right? They were in the right direction. They were going along just great, and then on April 2nd, they get rid of their saline placebo and decide to go with that meningococcal we just heard about, another vaccine. Makes no sense whatsoever. On May 22nd, FDA approves that approach. Oxford COVID-19 vaccine to begin phase 2 and 3 human trials using not the saline placebo that was promised, but another vaccine. This has been our beef with these safety trials of all vaccines from the beginning. Well, then we submitted our letter, right? We reached out and said, we have a citizen's petition. Syrian Glimstad is our legal body that works for us. On June 22nd, we submitted our petition demanding that you cannot call these safety trials using another vaccine. You must have a saline placebo group 1-to-1. Check this out. On June 30th, development and licensure of vaccines to prevent COVID-19 guidance for industry by the FDA. 8 days later, later phase trials, including efficacy trials, should be randomized, double-blinded, and placebo-controlled. An individually randomized control with 1-to-1 randomization between vaccine and placebo groups is usually the most efficient study design. An efficacy trial that evaluates multiple vaccine candidates against a single placebo group may be an acceptable approach to further increase efficiency. If the availability of a COVID-19 vaccine proven to be safe and effective precludes ethical inclusion of a placebo control group, that vaccine could serve as the control treatment in a study design. Continuing on. Moderna's stock falls following a report that the phase 3 coronavirus vaccine trial has been delayed. The company's phase 3 clinical trial for its experimental COVID-19 vaccine has been delayed. The sources attribute the delay to what? Protocol changes. Pfizer and BioNTech granted FDA fast track. This is the 13th designation for 2 investigational mRNA-based vaccine candidates against SARS-CoV-2. Subject to regulatory approval, the companies are expecting to start a phase 2/3 trial as soon as later this month and are anticipating enrolling up to 30,000 subjects. Moderna announces publication in the New England Journal of Medicine of interim results from phase 1 study of its mRNA vaccine against COVID-19, July 14th. The phase 3 study protocol has been reviewed by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration and is aligned to recent FDA guidance on clinical trial design for COVID-19 vaccine studies. 3,000 participants, a sterile liquid injection. 30,000 participants. Look what the placebo is. A normal saline injection. We did it, folks. Now, we are submitting other letters for those of you that are saying, well, you're supporting them. No. We are making them do true safety studies with 30,000 people using saline injections. We are amending our citizens' petition. I won't take you through it all now because we've gone on long enough, but let me just say we have a lot of issues with how they're going to look at adverse events. We're going to make sure that they follow adverse events in children and others for much longer periods of time, but we are having an effect. Our legal team is winning. We changed the placebo in the 2nd and 3rd phase trials of these vaccines if FDA is going to be involved in improving them. That is a win. Today, please, and thank you for being with me this entire brilliant episode of The High Wire. Folks, we are winning. We are winning in a grand way. Ohio had to back away from its desire to take away a life-saving treatment from human beings in the United States of America. And though they tried to censor doctors speaking their truth from the front lines, you shared that video so millions and tens of millions of people around the world, and even more questioning today, will know the truth. So I believe all the attempts at censorship, at the murder of innocent lives in America for either political gain or the push of an unnecessary vaccine, however you want to put it, the success of their attempts to stop all of us, the entire Informed Consent Action Network that includes you, I think that success could be surmised in this one video.
And now one of the more well-known Washington National fans.
Dr. Anthony Fauci.
Nice try. If only he was this talented at science.